Hello everybody out there and welcome back here with the future once again, and this time I have a special VHS collection update. If you did not check out my last video, it was a VHS collection update that I did of a bunch of, random titles I put in my .0 series. It was 28.0. I'll put it up here in the right. Go back and check that out. This one today has to focus or center around, I have to say, on the Disney Clamshell collection that I have going. As you can see, there is my current Disney Clamshell collection, but I have a complete, it's just a giant clamshell collection because most of the ones in this row here are not Disney. And I do have some in this video that are not Disney related, but I do have to show them off because it's part of the clamshell collection, so I throw them in to my Disney VHS collection updates, clamshell updates. And if anybody doesn't know, go back and check out my other Disney VHS clamshell collection updates that I did. I'll put the first one up here in the right, and then there's a second one too that I'll probably put up there as well that you can go check out. But the first one, I talk about how everybody thought these were so sought after. They were hundreds, thousands of dollars. Well, that's just, don't listen to the hype. That's not the case at all. This stack here I picked up for picked it up for like $1 or $2 completely. I got 8 VHS for $1, and they're clamshell Disney in here, and they're obviously not worth thousands of dollars. So don't listen to that hype, like I said, and I talk about that more in the first update that I did. But I want to thank everybody who has tuned in, subscribed lately, left a comment, giving me a like. I really appreciate it, and keep checking my videos out. If this is your first time, make sure you do all that I just mentioned. But let's get into the VHS Disney Clamshell collection updates that I made. I'm going to start off right now with the non-Disney ones that I made pickups to because I really like them. And here's the first one. It was Small Soldiers. Always enjoyed this film. The actual date of this film, I do not see right off the top hand on the back here, but it was in the 90s, and I've always liked this film, and this is the clamshell version of it. And as I said, I picked up 8 for $1, so they're trying to get them out of there right now, and you can see there's the VHS inside. So they said they had a ton more in the back, so hell, I went crazy and just picked up ones that I thought were interesting. This one here, Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan, the old cartoon, more of the original than the newer show they made. But this one here, if I can see it here, because it's such small writing, 1993 or something like that on there. But it's a Warner Brothers Family Entertainment. Sorry, I didn't look up dates on these or anything. And the backs are really small and really hard to read. So you can see there, Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. And here's a little write-up on the back for it. Get ready for far out fun in Scooby-Doo's brand new feature-length animated movie. Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Velma, Daphne, and Fred reunite to solve the most frightfully funny mystery of their careers. And so forth. So always been a big Scooby-Doo fan. So glad to have that one in there. This one was the Ralph Bakshi directed, I think that's how you say his name, Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings, that I remember as a kid. And, I was talking to my dad recently about this one, about how they made this one, and he was saying how bad the animation was of these Ralph Bakshi films. And I have to say that he was right. But you know what? It still has that charm from when I was a kid, and I really love it because I remember watching it, and the animation sometimes is very strange in this. They go from live animation, it looks like actual people, to drawn animation to actual cartoon animation. It's very strange. You'll have to check it out if you can find this. And what's weird about this one is that I was in another Salvation Army, and I found this it wasn't the clamshell copy, but it's the same one, as you can see. And I found this, and inside was Wind Talker. So you got to watch out for that big time. That's another thing. But it's cool now because I found the actual version, and I've watched this, that not too long later I found the clamshell version that I would rather have than this regular, cardboard back version, regular box version. But still, look at the box art, exactly the same. So I finally got Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. I have all the Lord of the Rings that they did and the Hobbits that they did, later on in the 2000s. But yeah, big fan of Lord of the Rings and stuff. So that was the original, though, Lord of the Rings. So gotta love it. Another one that I made was Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I did not have this one in the collection even on DVD, but, 8 for $1. You gotta love it. An instant classic. I've never actually really sat down and watched this all the way through. I'm a huge fan, and, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the original animated one, was put up there in my top 10 in my Christmas movies top 10 video that I did. I'll put that up to the right too if I have enough cards left by this time. I wish they'd give you more than 5 cards, but it was cool to add this one to the collection. And these next ones kind of fit in because they actually are now owned by the Walt Disney Company. In 2004, they purchased the Muppets and Blue Bear in the Big House, I think it's called. I don't know. I can't remember what the hell it's called, but the other one about the Big Bear or whatever. They purchased those in 2004 off the Jim Henson Company, and Jim Henson Company is still around and does own the rights still to some of these films, but I had to put this in the VHS Disney Clamshell update video because they are a subsidiary now of Walt Disney. The Muppets are. And I love the Muppets. I always have. This one here was It's the Muppets, and it was a library vid from Litchfield, Illinois Library. So it was in this weird case. They always do this, but it's funny. It still has this may be kept 7 days only and $2 per day overdue fine on it. But it's the Muppets, and I think, if I'm not wrong, this is just a bunch of different little small skits that they have by the Muppets on stage. So I don't know. I haven't watched any of them, but it was cool to have because it's Muppets. Here's Muppets in Space, which I know that Jim Henson Company still has the rights to the release of these, but they still release this video to this day under the Jim Henson Company, even though the Muppets are owned by Walt Disney. But Muppets from Space was a real cool one. The magic is back there, it says. And this movie was made in 1999. I can see that one a little bit better, but you see everybody on there. Grover, Kermit, Miss Piggy, everybody. But such a badass cover art there, too, for the Muppets in Space. Big Muppets fan, as I said. And a couple more Muppets ones I got. Muppet Classic Theater, which I always loved as a kid. As it says here, where 6 fairy tales take a wacky twist, and it's Muppets takes on classic fairy tales: Three Little Pigs, King Midas, Rumpelstiltskin, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, The Elves and the Shoemaker, and The Emperor's New Clothes. I always remember watching this as a kid, actually, and I thought it was a very interesting watch when I was a kid, too. So I'm really glad that I picked this one up. And I don't see... Yeah, it's so hard to make out the dates on these. They're so small, so... But it says Jim Henson Productions presents. Very cool to have the clamshell of this one. It's cool to see their takes on the classic theater tales. And then, finally, another Christmas one, and it's The Muppet Christmas Carol. So this is a very cool one. I did not pick up the DVD last year. I may grab the DVD of this Christmas season, though. I'm always looking out for Christmas movies around Christmas time for my updates. And this is one that I don't have, and I think it's really a good one. I watched it recently, and I did not, give it enough credit, from when I was younger and I watched this. I don't think I put enough time in it, but now that I watch it again, it is up there with some of the other Christmas Carol stories that have been made in the past. But I like this, The Muppet Christmas Carol. I was really glad to pick this one up. And now we're getting into the actual Disney VHS clamshell videos. First of all, one of the classics that I did not have that I'm really glad that I finally have, and that's none other than Beauty and the Beast. And now I have pretty much completed almost all of the classic, cartoons that they did. But, I still have Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Black Cauldron, and a few other that I'd really like to get a hold of, that I hold up there in high regards as some of their best animated movies. They're actually doing or did a live A Beauty and the Beast. I have not seen it, but I think it did well. But very cool here. Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Here is The Enchanted Christmas, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Very cool. The all-new movie. I already showed this one off, but I wanted to show that I did have both of these, the Beauty and the Beast and Disney's Beauty and the Beast, so that's not really an update. I have showed that before. And then I got to pick this one up. I didn't know much about it, but it is a Walt Disney animated movie, and it's Treasure Planet. I want to check this one out. It looks kind of interesting by the front there. And it says on the back, another classic animated feature for the entire family. So I'm guessing that it's not the greatest, but it's probably a pretty decent watch being Disney animation. And the year on this one, not seeing right off the top here. So I'm not sure on the dates on these, a lot of them, but Treasure Planet, very cool addition to the Clamshell collection. I already had the first Toy Story, which I've showed off in the past updates, but I did see that they had Toy Story 2, and oh, it's kind of sticking there, and it's very damaged and tore up, but I had watched the first one recently and wanted to see the second again, and when I saw this, I had to pick it up. I don't think I opened up Treasure Planet, but there you go. Beauty and the Beast is in there. I always like to show off the tapes on the inside to show that they're actually the tape that's in the inside, because I've had that happen a lot where there's not the tapes that they say are on the outside that are on the inside, like that Lord of the Rings one that I picked up. That's cool though. And Peter Jackson is the one that did the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits. Now, I couldn't think of his name for the life of me when I was doing it there, but I get those lapses sometimes where I just forget names. Finding Nemo. Haven't talked about Peter Jackson for a while since the old Kong deal, but I was thinking here. I've been thinking here the whole time, like, who was that? And Peter Jackson did those. Here's Finding Nemo. And this is another Disney Pixar classic that I added to the collection. So I have Toy Story, Toy Story 2, and Finding Nemo. I'd say 3 of their top Pixar hits that they've done. Finding Dory is a really big hit, but that's not going to come out on a Clamshell VHS. And I wasn't even thinking, this was made in 2001. And they were still doing clamshells by that time. So I'm pretty sure this is 2001, it says there. Yeah, Best Animated Short Film in 2001. For some reason, I thought the date was later than that, but I guess Finding Nemo. I just seen Finding Dory with my niece. I didn't do a movie review on it or anything, but I should have. I thought it was pretty good, but Finding Nemo, pretty cool. Mighty Joe Young, the remake of the classic Mighty Joe Young that featured work from Ray Harryhausen in it, one of his first early films, along with Willis O'Brien. That did work in the original. I really love that one and still have not found a copy on DVD or VHS to this day of it. But this is the Disney Mighty Joe Young that they did, which was pretty good effort. I haven't actually watched this again, but I watched it back whenever it came out. And this is a little easier to read here. And I'm looking for a date on this one, but I don't see a date written on here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have looked up dates for these, but oh well, it's not a big deal. Mighty Joe Young, and it is in the case there. Finding Nemo in the case, I think I showed that. But Mighty Joe Young, about the old giant gorilla. It's not as good as the classic one, but I'm glad to have it in the Disney collection. Here is Squanto, A Warrior's Tale. I have not saw this movie, and I do want to see it. It looked interesting on the back. It has them fighting the bear there. I think I remember when they put this out, but not sure, like I said, on a lot of these, I'm not sure of the actual year, because they do not mark them on the back here, and I didn't do an extensive research on this video before I did it. But Squanto, A Warrior's Tale, you can see Walt Disney Home Video there. Action-filled Los Angeles Times says there, excuse me. See him riding the horse. I think it's a cool cover. I just went to, like, my niece did a wax museum where the kids dress up like certain historical figures, and they stand up and you push the button and they act like they're the wax figures themselves. And somebody was Squanto in there, so it was kind of funny when I saw this. I was like, just saw that the other day, and there's Squanto again. But the last one that I picked up in this update is Blank Check. And man, I remember this one as a kid, and it was one of my favorites. And I forgot that Walt Disney even did this movie. But quick thinking landed him $1 million. Now everyone's after it. Like, he was left a blank check and he wrote it out for $1 million, and then he just goes crazy. You can see there meets a hot chick and whatnot. There he is living it up in his pink Cadillac floaty. That's pretty badass. And I just always loved this movie, man. He just lives it up like it was like a kid's dream come true when he wrote that $1 million check and started this mansion with everything that you would want as a kid in there. And you see the money coming out of his backpack. Very cool. Always loved this movie, and even as a kid, and still do to this day. Blank Check's a classic. But yeah, guys, there is the VHS clamshell updates that I have made to my Disney collection, and just overall. I wanted to throw them all in there together because I usually do that in these videos. So this will be 3.0 labeled. And yeah, go back and check out my other Disney clamshell collection updates that I've done in the past, specials. They're not in the .0 series, they're just specials. But I'll put my Blu-ray, DVD, and VHS collection zone up to the right. And go back and check those out. Go back and check out all my showcase and reviews too. I don't think I'll have enough cards to put up to the right a card, but just go on my channel and check out my playlist for my showcase and reviews, or go back in my videos and you'll see I do reviews on all my figures and stuff as well, which you may be interested to as well if you're watching this video. But yeah, you can see there I put up Werewolf of London, Dracula from the last VHS update that I did in 28.0, excuse me. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, guys. I really appreciate it. Keep collecting. And yeah, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and give me a like if you like what you see. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out.